Alright guys, we are going to do a little reloading tonight. We're going to be reloading some 45 ACP. We are going to turn this, I don't know if you guys can see or whatever, but we're going to turn that into this. Alright. Alright, so welcome back guys. Do a little something different. We're going to do a little reloading tonight. We're going to reload some ACP, 45 ACP. We've got some 230 grain hybrid hollow points from berries with a 1.275 overall length, and we will be using a little bit of Longshot. It's kind of weird. That's what the recipe called for. And who am I to argue with the recipe? So, first things first. One, you're going to need a press. I've got the Lee handheld press here. This works great. It's a great cheap option to go with. So if you guys can see it over here. Anyway, we've also got the Lee reloading die for the 45 ACP. First things first, we got to knock out the old primers. So we take our resizing and depriming die, screw that in, get it nice and tight. Basically, you're going to remove that old spent primer and put a new one in there. We're not going to do all of these. In front, we may just do a few. So, got the old casing out. Again, this resizes. It's a little tough. We do get the carbine. Yeah, the carbide die. Get a little workout in. Oh yeah. I always like to check these too, just to make sure that the primer has been spent, and usually you can tell if the primer's spent, but the fact that it's out a little bit, just to make sure. And I kind of like these little hand presses just because, I mean, you can sit down, watch TV, talk to a video camera, either or. All right, now that we've got that, we're going to put this up for now. Next step, a lot of these primers, these primer pockets are going to have dirty primer pockets. You can tell the crud. Camera's really crappy and it's far away, so I'm not going to show that, but just note they do. I use a little handheld tool to take off any of the, if there's any military crimps or anything like that. Take that, just make sure that the primers do fit. Rub the other end in, clean out the primer pocket. Definitely want to make sure it fires right. Looks good, that looks real good. And we'll start this process and do that. And they do have mechanical tools that do this. I wouldn't say I'm old school, I'm just cheap. So we do it by hand. But, you know, something that I enjoy You know, gets you away from the everyday life, all the work and everything. Sit down, reload, just relax a little bit. Plus, it's really rewarding taking your own ammo out to the range and shooting it. I guess I forgot the first step in here. The first step is to actually wash your brass. I use a tumbler, corncob media. Gets them pretty good, get them pretty clean. There may be other ways to get them nice and super shiny, but gets them clean. I've never had any problems when it comes to firing reloads out of any of my weapons. So that'd be the first step before you actually start to reload these, is clean your brass. But that's a boring part. You just throw it in the tumbler and let it sit there for 2 or 3 hours while it tumbles, and then it cleans. So we are going to see how long this is going to take to reload 10. Shouldn't take too long. Once you get through the process of this. This is really the longest part, is just making sure that everything's smooth, everything's ready to go, that your pistol, your primer pocket's good to clean and clean. Alright, so we've got those 10 done. Alright, so next step after this, again, take your lead, head, load, take out the resizing and depriming die. Then Lee also comes with the RAM primer. Comes in one of these little boxes here. Anyway, you put your, I don't even know what this thing is called, but I don't know, holds your, it's the bullet holder, I guess, or the shell holder. Let me pop that in, but it does come with a large and a small primer tool. And just take your unprimed case, stick a primer in there, pop it up, and I always check. I like to do a nice little smooth check there just to make sure everything's seated in correctly. But if you guys can see, we got a nice primer. Yeah, I don't know if that's catching. Hopefully it is. But we're going to keep going through the process, priming the rest of these. I don't have one of those little fancy, I don't know, primer things. I don't know what the hell it's called, but this has worked just fine. So we're going to keep doing it. That you shouldn't touch the primers with your hands, but I don't know if that's an old wives' tale or what. Maybe it's not. And the nice thing about this is you just kind of get into a rhythm. Okay, just double check. Alright, just like that, we got 10 cases primed and ready to go. from here, you're going to want to do a little expanding of the die. This is basically so we can just seat the bullet. You want it to kind of sit in there just right. Makes it real easy. This is also very quick and very fun. Just put, make sure you put your little case seater right there. Come up, all the way up. All right. So here, we're going to take one of our bullets, just kind of sit it in there, actually go a little bit further. A good example, so place the ring, put that down just a wee bit more, lock the ring again, run her through. There we go. And just sit nicely in there. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. Do a little more. Just a wee bit more. Lock the ring. Tighten this, make it go down just a wee bit more. Let's lock the ring again. Oh yeah. Not quite 100% there, but she'll hold, she'll seat really well. So we're going to roll with it. And just like everything, you keep doing this for all the rest of them. Uh-huh. All right. So as we're going through this, pulling this one out, if you can see, I don't know if you guys can or anything, but there's a little divot kind of in there. This one wasn't quite 100% circular when we resized it and everything. Hoping the expanding die would have taken it out a little bit more instead of crushed the side. I don't know. Maybe you guys can see that. So this one is actually no good to me. I only want them perfect for when I shoot. I will take that primer out. We'll use it for another thing, but we're just gonna set that old boy right there. Now with the Lee dies, if you're using the Lee stuff, you can actually put your powder charge, your funnel in there, and dip that in. The grain that we're using right now, and the 45 being so big, I'm just going to use the our little powder measure here, and we'll go from there. All right, turn it on. Grains. Set it to 0. All right. Now again, we're on 6.4 grains. Okay, take the first one, this off, put your charge in, or your powder, whatever you want to call it, back on. Now once we get to kind of this point and everything, I like to take these out so I know exactly which ones are charged, which ones aren't. I know since we've only done the first 10 or so, that's good to go. So we're going to do this for the rest of them. This is probably the most boring part, but it is the most crucial. You definitely don't want to undercharge, and you certainly don't want to overcharge your ammo. .4. Nope, too much there. Got 6.6. Take a little bit out. .6 is within that realm, but I want all these to be charged up to 6.4. That's the base. The minimum charge, and being that these are once fired, once reloaded now, I want it to be the minimum. One thing to remember when your guys are loading and putting in your powder on a little scale here, go slow. You start running into things like I am, overcharging. You gotta take powder out. 6.4. .3, 6.4. So I take the whole thing. You get a lot of powder in that one. A lot of powder in this, so we'll go take her slow. Oof. That one little bump just really did it. All right, 6.3. It's times like this I do kind of wish I had a little powder trickler, just to get you the exact amount of grains that you need. 6.4, there we go. This process would probably go a lot quicker if I did that. That's all right. few more to do here. Then we get to the real fun part. That's actually seeing the bullet and making your own ammo. All right, get this one and one more. .5. Leave that out. .4. There we go. All right. Okay, last one we're going to charge. All right. Now that we've got our cases all charged, and you can definitely look in and see if you don't have good light or anything, shine a flashlight in there. Turn that off. All right, next thing is putting the bullet in there. So we've got this set at 1.275 overall length. Digital caliper is definitely a must when reloading. So you can take your hand press, you can take out the expander die. We are at that point now. And you're going to put the seating die in. Now in the Lee load all dies, or whatever they are, the Lee dies, in these 3 carbine kits or dies, your seating die will also crimp, and that's very important. All right, so take your charged case, take a bullet, sits right in there. Raise the ram up, put it in, take a look, looks awesome. Now, let's confirm. Zero that out, okay. So we're looking for 1.275. .274, pretty close. I can live with that. 1.274. All right, cool. And it is crimped on there, so that is kind of nice. Now, when you're reloading, if you need to, again, this is going to seat your bullet. I put a nice little line and everything on here so I can see where it's at. I usually check about every 10 to 15 just to make sure it's the same with this. I did kind of preset everything a little bit, but it was 1.274, so pretty close on there. I can live with that. It's just under the overall length. Anyway, if you need to adjust up, say if your bullet's seated too far, turn it counterclockwise. If you want to come down on your bullet, you just turn this clockwise. Yeah, pretty simple. But we're going to go ahead, get the rest of these seated in, ready to go. Yeah, I know this isn't as fast as most fancy machines and everything they got out here for doing this, but you know, it is pretty precise, and you know, like I said, it's fun. It's just something to take your mind off the grind. I don't know what it is about a 45, but dude, after you get done, like with all this, they just look so gnarly. And just like that, we have reloaded 9 hybrid hollow point 45s. They look good. Take these out to the range, test it out, shoot it. Like I said, Longshot's probably one that I've never used before. It's mostly a shotgun powder that I use. It's my favorite shotgun powder. But yeah, that's all there is to it with the Lee hand press, with the Lee carbide die, 45 ACP die. Nice, simple, quick. If you guys like what you see, do a comment, give me a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe. Until next time, guys, let's have a day.